What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Anthony Greenfield. We are back with another episode of Ant-Arcy. This is now episode 5, I believe. I didn't have a show last week because, I have things to do. But this week, we're going to talk about something massive that happened earlier this month, and I want to get everybody's thoughts on it. It was crazy, it was chaotic, but I'm going to give my thoughts too. And then we're going to transition over to something so maybe a lot of you can, I'll say, persuade with or maybe relate to. But first, let me bring on my guests for today. These two particular characters hold a special place in my heart. I did my very first sporting show with them, and I will never forget the opportunity. So let's bring on Cole Brennan and Jasmine Pollock from Jazz on Sports. So, Jasmine, Cole, how are we doing tonight?
Good. Never better. It's good. The gang is back. We're back. So, we're here.
The Danger Trio is back. I'm calling us the Danger Trio. I don't know about y'all, but I'm calling us the Danger Trio, and we are back together once again. But this time, I'm calling the shots, Jasmine. It's my show.
Right.
But let's actually start with tonight's topic. It's going to get a little heavy, but if some of you aren't aware, earlier this month, an African-American woman named Sonia Massey was shot by a police officer in Sangamore, Illinois, for saying that she had a boiling pot of water. And so if you don't know what the full story is, I'm going to give you 3 certain points. 1, she called the police because she thought there was an intruder in the house. Okay? 2, when the police got there, they asked her to ID her, but why do you have to ID somebody when you're in the house? It don't make no sense. And 3, the cop, Sean Grayson, by the way, the cop sees a boiling pot of water on the stove and asks her to remove it. As she's trying to remove the water, he pulls his gun out. Face. I don't know about you guys, but this story from head to toe, it doesn't make sense. It's honestly frustrating to hear. But Jasmine, let me get your thoughts on it first. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this entire situation?
It's disappointing because it's another story that we have to continuously talk about. There shouldn't be in any way that anyone calls the police for something they fear as a threat to them, or they feel like something could potentially cause harm, and they call the police, their job is to protect and serve, and they're not serving. You end up losing your life in your own home, where you live, where you pay bills, where your family lives, and things of that nature. So it's another disappointing situation. And then to add more to the details, when they shot her, they didn't administer aid because the guy that shot her, the main one, he told his partner not to do that. And it makes the whole situation worse. And even after he was so stone cold about it, he didn't show any empathy at all. And it's annoying. I don't like to make things a race issue. I really don't, because I just think that all of us should live in a world where we're all equal and should have the same amount of respect for one another, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, whatever your nationality is. And it hurts me because I am a black woman, and seeing that, as a young black woman, and a woman Macy seemed to be by herself in that situation, and you would think that I can trust these 2 male cops to protect me, and that did not happen. And we don't even know if the intruder is, or whatever threat she felt deemed a threat, is in the area still. So it's just a lot of questions that I have. And when we dissect the video, it's I don't know what triggered him to feel that. And me, like, if you're cooking, right? just dissecting the video. You're cooking. She's cooking in her own home. She has every right to have her boiling pot of water on the stove. She has every right to do that. And I'm not understanding what triggered him about that. Like, I don't understand why that was a focal point when we're talking about looking for the ID. I don't understand that. They can say, oh, safety hazard, but I don't know about that. She's in her home. She's looking for ID that has nothing to do with the boiling pot on the stove. And then when you ask her to remove it, he's backing up in fear, and then she's saying, why are you upset? Why are you scared? And then you're saying, well, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus and things like that. And that triggered him. I'm not understanding what the trigger was. And all of it's confusing, but I do think he needs to be held accountable to the highest extent. This woman lost her life in a way that should not have happened. I don't think she thought that I'm calling the police because I felt there's a fear around my home. I don't feel safe. To call the police and that be your final moments of your life makes no sense to me.
That is a powerful answer by Jasmine Pollock herself. Now that I think about it, I probably should have had you go last, Jasmine, because that was really powerful. Cole, I'm sorry to do this to you, but now it's your turn. I don't know if you can give a better, more heavier answer than Jasmine, but I'm not going to compare you to her. But I will say, what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I saw the video. Nothing adds up to me. I don't get how they can use lethal force in that situation. All she had was a boiling pot of water. This isn't like she had a knife. This isn't like she had a gun. And I respect the police. I have respect for law enforcement, especially to our military personnel. Mm-hmm. There are good and there are obviously bad cops in everywhere. There are bad apples in every single profession.
Right.
That's just the reality. That's just the world that we live in. But this situation doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I will trust our justice system, and I truly do believe that Lady Justice must always be blind. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that this police officer will be held accountable. I saw the video. It's 100 to me. It is totally 100% police brutality, yes. And that it is. I do think that we need to have police reform. For all officers, and they need to be held accountable too. They are there to enforce the law, and they can't overstep their boundaries too.
Right.
They need to be held accountable. The officer that used lethal force, I just don't understand his logic to use lethal force in that situation. Like, why? Why did they have to use lethal force?
Right.
I truly do believe that this officer is going to be held accountable, and I do believe that he is going to spend his life in jail. I'm not sure I believe they charged the officer with manslaughter.
I believe first degree too.
And first degree. The only thing is, I'm not sure they will get first degree murder.
And I was doing, first degree murder, Cole.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they will get the first
after
degree.
They did first degree murder.
I'm not sure they're going to get the first degree murder charge.
Go ahead, Cole. Go ahead and finish.
Right.
Yeah, the reason because of that is it has to be pre-planned.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I don't think that situation was pre-planned by that officer. Mm-mm. So I truly don't think that first degree murder.
Nothing like that is ever pre-planned.
Yeah, to me, that's not pre-planned. Derek Chauvin did not even get charged with first degree murder.
No, he didn't either. Mm-mm.
And so I think for this officer, I think the best charge for him should be manslaughter. And I truly do believe that he should spend his time in jail.
Yes.
And actually, he should be in prison too.
Yeah.
I think this officer too had been fired beforehand, that he had some.
Yes.
He did some shady stuff beforehand.
I
think that needs to be looked into.
He had like a DUI.
Right.
Yeah, they said that he had like a DUI in some cases, and he had what was it, 3 different or 5 different departments before he went to that
this one.
police department. Yeah. And so now it's like what really went through your head when you told her to get an ID out when you walked into her house? That's the first thing. 2, she called you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She called you. That still don't make no sense. And 3, if your partner was there and your partner see the entire thing happening, why is your partner also drawing a gun for whatever reason? Don't tell me that the Sangamore County Police Department has 2 cops, and neither of those 2 cops that just so happened to be there on that day had no common sense, or both of them drew the gun, but nobody had the common sense to say, he just asked her to move the pot of water. Why do I have a gun in my hand? You know what I'm saying?
And
that's just completely outrageous to me.
And to piggyback on both of what this is the questions that we're asking. What was the reason? Right. And my thing is, that's why I feel like in a situation like that, I felt, to me, watching the video, they already came off kind of hostile anyway. Their tones were not pleasing. And of course, there's this level of, especially, I think that I believe they do it, but it needs to be enforced where police officers should be able to know how to communicate with people, especially in a situation like that where there's a woman that's scared that I don't know who's around my house, and she seemed like she was alone at home, and there's a fear. There should be a level of knowing how to communicate. We're trying to de-escalate a situation. That is a cop's job, is to just de-escalate as well, and not put whatever, if it's a suspect or a victim, to enhance the situation. And that situation was enhanced for no reason. There was no threat. There is completely no threat. She had mitts on her hands. There was no threat at all. And then when you shoot her, you don't administer aid at all. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, aren't cops supposed to, if something like that happens, you're the first hand responder. No, you decided, no, we're not doing that. And then after you go outside with your other fellow co-workers and you call her a crazy bee after you put a bullet in her head, yeah, there's something seriously wrong with him. I don't know if he has mental health issues that need to be talked about as well, but I do think I agree with Cole. He needs to get manslaughter, and there needs to be a serious conversation of how cops communicate with people. You do not go in there, and especially in a situation where a woman is scared and we don't know what's going on, and instead of and there was no reason to ask her for ID. There's a simple, hey, let's sit down on the couch and have a conversation. What is going on? Has there been any situation of someone stalking you lately? There's no conversation. It's, oh, find your ID. Oh, take that boiling pot of water that has nothing to do with the conversation. And we involved that for no reason. And you had guns out already when she's scared. What are we? And I saw someone say this, and I'll wrap my spiel up. Someone had a sign that says, "We are expected as unarmed humans. He should be put in prison, but we are expected as civilians to be calm, to be collected. But a cop with a gun, oh, he has all the knowledge of what's going on. Are you kidding? How are we supposed to be calm? You're the one with the gun." You're the one with all the weapons, tasers. And even my thing is, even if you felt threatened by a boiling pot of water, you don't think to get a taser. You automatically think to shoot to kill. That's my problem. When we can have conversations about these things, you're already going in there scared for whatever reason when she's the one that called you. She called you. So I don't understand the situation. I'm not trying to understand the situation. It's sad that another life is lost. Both two lives have been lost. This cop's life, he's going to be done forever, and then this woman, we will never see her again. And it's a continuous situation that we keep having, and it's annoying. It's really annoying.
Also, how does this cop get hired when he has a DUI? Why wasn't he immediately fired after that? Like, you're a cop, you get a DUI. To me, that's I get people make mistakes, and, cops make mistakes as well. And, they're human, but he is a DUI. I don't understand how he can become a police officer with a DUI.
Right.
And, it's, if you want to be a cop, to me, you got to got to have a clean record. You know, if you have a speeding ticket, okay, like it's a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a lot
something
of minor like speeding ticket. You shouldn't.
But a DUI,
you should still be able to be a cop. Maybe if you had like a speeding ticket or maybe a couple parking fines, it's whatever. But if it's like a DUI or you were charged with something, or or like you've been convicted of a felony or any kind, you're not allowed to be in law enforcement. Because who's to say some random switch won't just come on and you won't just do it again?
And that's another problem also that you guys just brought up, right? Being that he has a track record, think about the message you're sending to him. Oh, we're accepting this behavior. We're okay with this behavior. So he's not being held accountable. So, the first time, the second time, the third time, oh, I'm still a cop. Okay, cool. And what's unfortunate is we didn't get him the proper help that he needed, that he's probably battling with as well. And I'm not in any way, shape, or trying to defend him. But what I'm saying is, in order to minimize these kind of situations, why aren't we having these conversations? Why did you have a DUI? What's going on? Because that goes to show me that if you're having a DUI and you're driving, you're not having a care about other life, including your own. So if you don't even care about yourself, and in that situation of you could have died or you could have killed someone, in this situation, he had no empathy at all. He was coming in there with, I don't care. I don't care. I've had this track record. I've been through this. I've done that. It's whatever to me. That's a problem. That's a major problem.
I would say
I do think that too, Jasmine. Go ahead, Cole. Last statement.
I think one thing too that we should trust the justice system here. I think the justice system will hold him accountable. I believe in our justice system here. It has worked for 248 years.
Yeah.
248 years. Our system of justice is probably one of the best in the world. Obviously there have been cases where our justice has been used wrongfully against those who are totally innocent. And then, some that should potentially be sent, those who are guilty should be sent to jail for even longer. But for a justice system that has been in place for 248 years, it has worked well. Like I don't think there's any other way around it. And I really do believe that this officer is going to be held accountable, and he should be held accountable. Prison, I do not think he should be charged with first degree murder. I just don't think that charge is fair in this situation. But I think manslaughter, he should absolutely be charged with manslaughter, and he is.
Right. Yes. And can we actually bring up one of those, the second comment that came up, please? I didn't get it. I didn't get a chance to read it fully. Uncommon for cops to shoot innocent people. Statistically, it's bad people shooting cops and innocent people. That's far more common. I can agree with that. So before we move on to the next segment, and actually I have one more question because of Cole, because he did make a good point in his statement. So about this comment, do you guys think? As a matter of fact, let's do it like this. Do you guys think this incident that it dropped your trust in the law enforcement, whether it be your local police department, or just certain areas now you want to avoid in the future? Cole, you want to start with this? You want to start with this question?
I think that's a good question. I still trust law enforcement. There have obviously been situations and scenarios that have happened before, and I can totally see the other side of, when something like that happens, they lose some trust in law enforcement, and that's totally fair. I myself still trust them. There are obviously still bad apples in law enforcement. We can try and get rid of those bad apples, but you will never get rid of it completely. Yes. There are bad apples in every single profession. Every single profession you look at, there are going to be those bad apples. And I think that police, I think they can definitely do better with gaining more trust in the community, gaining more trust with citizens. And that's why, too, I'm a big fan of community policing, because I think it helps build that trust between citizens and law enforcement. And I think that's a good thing.
Powerful stuff, Cole. I still trust in the law enforcement, whether if it's around Washington D.C. or maybe like Landover, Maryland. I still believe in the police department. Even though if I call the police and I say, hey, there's something going wrong, there's something wrong, I don't want to fear for my life to say, if this cop pulls a gun out on me, now I got to forget the entire reason why I called him, and now I got to fend for my life. Right. And I got to watch it around me, because every single thing and anything could be a trigger, be a reason to where a firearm is pulled out, or something just goes out. So Jasmine, actually, hold on. Gaining more trust, but the movement is to defund the police, which has been a disaster. Now, I will say there has been a number of things, people saying that defund the police, but we don't believe that all cops are bad. Now, I'm not saying you're a cop.
I don't believe in that at all.
But right, but I'm saying if you defund the police, you're also defunding the police that work for the people, that work for people's safety, that work for people's right to live free. Now, if you want to defund the bad cops, I'm all for that. If you want to defund the cops that's all about systemic racism and just shooting people just because they look weird or they look funny, that part I understand. But defunding the police when there's good apples involved, I don't think that is, because my uncle is a cop, and he's been a cop for almost 11 years now.
Right.
So Jasmine, now moving on to you. Does this situation lower your trust into law enforcement, or let's just defund the police altogether?
No, I do not believe in defunding the police. I think that's stupid. I think there's a lot of cops who are very upset about this. I've seen a lot of cops speak out about this, and I'm proud of that, because that shows that there's an awareness. Yes. And listen, this needs to be fixed, because there's good cops that are trying to do the right thing and protect the people. Two, no, I don't distrust the police at all. I do think now we have come to it's a lot of gray area. It's very tough. There's things that I fear far as especially in our country. We have allowed things to happen for too long. And I do think that this is tough. But I think what is happening in our country is we are allowed things to coast, and it's getting worse. I'm one of those people. I'm not as I'm very skeptical of things. I look at things from different perspectives. I'm not going to totally say oh, freak the cops, forget them. I'm not going to say that, because we do need them in some capacity, because without them, it's going to be a lot worse, obviously. But I do think there needs to be a conversation of how the police force and civilians can come together to communicate with each other. The comment I saw, we should have more fear in bad people. There's a lot of things to fear in this world, and things like that. If there are people out there who do fear the cops after this, that is rightfully so, because that is a real thing that's happening. And I do think that also a lot of people don't feel safe. If I call the police, especially as a woman, if I'm calling the police, and I need help, and there's been a lot of situations, I've seen a lot of women talk about this, where a lot of women have come to the police about a crazy ex, about a crazy person that's following them. And then the cops say, well, we can't really do much. Not a lot that we can do. And those women are either hurt or dead the next day. We've seen a lot of stories like that. And there is this fear, for women, and it's rightfully so, that, if I call the police, there's been a lot of cases where women have gotten hurt behind certain things. So, no, I think people should be very cautious. I recommend if people are dealing with cops, they're just as scared. You know, I've seen cops that get killed for just doing the right thing. That's to happen. My father works with law enforcement. He is a district manager for Home Depot, you know, regarding theft and different things like that for asset protection. So he has to work with things like that. So my dad has had experiences that way. But I think that there needs to be a common ground that I don't know how they're going to be able to do this, but cops should be able to communicate in situations like that or put specific cops in place for situations like this. Like for me, I look at it as there should have been a female cop accompanying them as well. You know, things like that. Okay, there's a scared woman. We should have another woman to woman thing, while two male cops could be surveying the situation, going around her home and checking while a female cop is talking to her. Things like that we should have in order to, you know, make things better. But I do think this country's headed in a really weird spot with a lot of different things. But that's another conversation for another day.
Can I add in one more thing just about that?
Go ahead, Cole. One last thing.
Yeah, I mean, I am definitely not for defunding the police.
No.
I back the police. Like, I have
Mhm.
a lot of respect for what they do. They have a tough job.
Yes.
And obviously, too, especially in
Mhm.
these major cities
Yes.
in New York, LA,
Chicago.
Minneapolis, Chicago. Chicago is a mess on the south
It's a
side.
mess.
The south side
Yeah,
of Chicago
I've been
is
there.
so bad. I mean,
I've been
you
there.
have
Don't
you
forget
have
Baltimore.
people
Baltimore
shooting
messed up there
people.
too.
You have people shooting people. You know, you have a bad crime wave. And in those cities, the one thing we need is we need law and order. Law and
Yeah,
order.
there's no law and order.
And they need to start cracking down on these major
Yeah,
cities
there is.
with the crime because it's not good. And
no.
the funding, and yes, I do believe that, you know what, there are a lot of bad people too that are going out and shooting the police. That's not
Yes.
good either. And
Yes.
we
Yeah.
definitely too, we need to crack down on the crime in these major cities, and we need to do it harshly too. And we need to start setting the tone in these major cities of if you break the law, there is going to be a penalty.
Agreed. 100%.
Well said, Cole. Well said, Cole. I love it. Now we have spent a lot of time on this topic, and I know it's heavy on all of us, and I know that we have a lot to say about police brutality, defunding the police, and like being racially targeted. But I actually want to transition the conversation to a little bit something more lighthearted. But first, before we actually get to our transition, I want both of my panelists to talk about and where they can find them outside of Ant-Arcy. Because remember, I did start talking about sports with Jasmine and Cole. So, Cole, do you want to actually no? I started with Cole last time. Jasmine, do you want to start with where people can find you and how they can contact you outside the show?
Yeah, so everyone knows that it's not First Impressions anymore. It's called Jazz on Sports now. So you can catch my show, Jazz on Sports, every Monday at noon. I talk all things sports. I'm looking forward to talking about a lot more things because there's a lot of things that have to be talked about. But I'm really excited. I thank everyone for their support. I thank Cole and Anthony, Jay and Leon for continuously showing their support as well. I talk about all things strictly sports. So this is the first time you really getting into like social things. I talk about them off the camera, but I talk mostly all things sports. So.
I love it, Jasmine. I love it. And remember, I did start with Jasmine. I will always remember the first topic we got into. Wait, what was that first topic we got into? I just forgot it. I think our first topic was we were talking about. Yeah, like no. Just hold on now. So I do remember it was me, you, and Cole in the very first episode that I hopped onto. It wasn't about training camp. I think it was about like free agency. It was after the Super Bowl. That's what I do know. That's what I do.
After the Super Bowl.
Yes, it was about free agency, and I was honestly kind of ticked off that the Patriots didn't sign anybody within the first 2 or 3 weeks. And the first signing we made was we signed Antonio Gibson. And so that's the only thing I had to go off of. But then after that particular show, we started signing people like left and right. Hey,
Right.
man, let's go with Elliot.
They
Wolf.
heard you.
So,
They heard
Cole, we heard my prayers. Let's go.
Right.
All right. So, Cole, do you want to talk to the audience and say where can they find you and how can they contact you after the show?
Yeah, so you can find me at Cole RMU Sentry. That's my Twitter profile. Now it's X, but I still call it Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter to me. And then my LinkedIn is Cole Brennan, just my name. And currently, I'm a student at Robert Morris. I'm going to be going into my senior year. I am also the assistant video and analytics coordinator of RMU men's hockey, working with an NCAA Division I hockey team. Going into my second season there, and then after I'll be going to grad school. As of right now, my top choice is West Virginia University, and potentially some stuff is getting lined up down there. I striving to be an NHL general manager one day. I want to be the guy at the wheel, building a team that is going to win Stanley Cups. I want to win. That's what it's all about to me. It's about winning, and winning is definitely very high on my priority list. Some organizations in Pittsburgh don't care about winning. It's actually it's only one organization that is scared to win, and that's the Pirates. It's kick the can down the road another 5 years, but that's a different topic for another day. But yeah, I mean, and then also too, email, if anyone ever wants to hit me up or wants to talk to me, you can email me at cpbst158@mail.rmu.edu. So I'm looking forward to the next year, especially getting started with RMU men's hockey again, and I'm getting ready to go back to school, be moving in a couple weeks, and I'm looking forward to it.
Don't worry, Cole. One day you'll have a college graduate. You'll have a college road right behind you too. And I promise you, it's the best feeling you'll have in your life. Once you walk across that stage, it's everything. It's like every step you take, it will be like, I wasn't here. Sophomore year, I did this. My junior year, I kind of stumbled a little bit, but I got into something. And now for my senior year, it's like, what do I do now? Now I made something for myself. Now I got to make a platform. I got to make whatever. And I'm telling you, college goes by fast. Please make every second count.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that too, and I'm sure grad school will go by just as fast.
Transitioning over to yeah. All right, so transitioning to a small little segment I want to throw into for everybody. If some of you aren't aware, NFL training camp has started, and I will say the New England Patriots are starting to look crisp. Even though Drake May threw like one INT in 2 days, think about that. One interception in 2 days. Think about it. He had 7 on 7s, 11 on 11s. He had rookies and vets he's throwing to. He threw a deep bomb to Jalen Polk and Jalen Reagor. I'm telling you, I'm excited for the Patriots this year. And every single person that say the Patriots are going to go 3-15 or what's it, 3-14 or whatever number to add up to 7. But if anybody got us capping at 4 wins, you're wrong. We're going to cap at maybe 9 or 10. 9 or 10. But I'm going to start with you, Jack. No, I started with Jasmine. I started with Jasmine last time. Cole, I'm going to start with you. Have you seen anything that popped out to your eye at Steelers training camp?
So far, no. It's very early into training camp, which is actually surprising. I know Jasmine's like, wow, nothing is like one thing that I've seen, and this is the videos. I have not been to a training camp practice yet for the Steelers. I'm trying to get down to one because it is nice to see all the players. It's nice to, to not just listen to the media and what they say in Pittsburgh, because everything is like the greatest in sliced bread. If you listen to them every August, it's the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to go 12-5. They're going to go 13-4, and they're not going 12-5 and 13-4 this year. It's just not going to happen. But the one thing I would, from a couple of the clips that I've seen, I've liked what Justin Fields has done.
Yes.
Couple nice passes. And then also, too, Steelers are probably going to have a new guy being their slot corner this year. It's probably, from what I've seen, is that Beanie Bishop, West Virginia grad, he's been taking first-team reps as the slot corner. He's an undrafted free agent, which I mean, I hope he does well, but I don't know how he's doing in training camp. But I know Russell Wilson was hurt and he was banged up a little bit.
That's the problem.
But I also, too, like, kind of just going into the Steelers, like, to the season, like, I still have a lot of question marks. Still a lot of question marks. I don't know if Russ is, A, going to stay healthy. 2, how is he going to be this year? Is he going to be better or is he going to be worse? Because he's obviously taken a step down than what he used to be. My one problem with Russ, this goes back to when he played in Seattle. I think he throws some really bad interceptions at the wrong times. And I really don't know what to expect from him. So I think he's going to be better than Kenny Pickett last year, but that's, I mean, you're not competing much. You're not really competing for much. It's for an NFL quarterback, can't be that hard to be better than Kenny Pickett last year because he was not good. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what all goes down, especially too when we get into preseason. I do not watch preseason football religiously because I know some people will try and make predictions off preseason. Preseason means absolutely nothing. The only thing it's used for is to see who's going to make the team, who's potentially going to be your starters at a couple of positions, but it means nothing. Like it's like the only thing I look for it is who could I potentially look out for this year? Who, and you know what? Even 2 guys that have a bad preseason, bad training camp. Like I heard his rookie year, Jamar Chase was dropping like every single ball. Well, he balled out his rookie year. So even to like this whole period, like it doesn't really mean a ton. You know, training camp, it's just getting ready for the season, getting guys in pads. But I am really looking forward to the NFL season, and we'll see what happens with the Steelers. But right now, this is not my official prediction yet. But right now, I am leaning towards the Steelers going 10-7.
A 10-7 record from Cole Brennan himself. Hey, that's a strong prediction, and I can see where you're coming from. See, I've seen Justin Fields within Chicago in the last couple of years, and he's been up and down. He's had his skids, he's had his high rises, but I think Justin is going to be a good backup for you guys. Now, if Russell Wilson be week 9 or week 10, or if he gets hurt before the bye, I'll say that. If he gets hurt before the bye, you guys may be cooked. Because having Justin Fields early on, I don't think that's the way to go. But before we go down that road, hold on, Cole. I know you got something you want to say, but hold on. Jasmine, I want you to tell me what are your thoughts on the Packers? And I think there's some special news that you heard yesterday or the day before you want to share with everybody.
Yes. Jordan Love signed his contract. I know you guys texted me like, I don't know if I would have done it. This is the guy you traded up for, so I would hope you would pay him, right? You know, you get rid of Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be a potential Hall of Famer, you know. So I would hope you would pay him. But I'm really happy for Jordan Love. He's having a great year. He got engaged in Paris to his fiance. I think he is a stand-up guy. I love what I saw last season, even though I didn't have much hope last season. But, you know, just us being the youngest team again in the league, with the young talent we have, our defense so far in the training camp has been very good. It looks faster. a lot more physical, which I'm really excited about because I've been waiting for this defense to really turn the corner. We have a lot of young guys that I'm really excited about, and some veterans like Rashawn Gary, who is lighting it up in training camp right now. Jordan Love is lighting it up right now too. We have a very, very good young receiving core. Reed, Dobbs, Watkins, all these guys are going to be very good. Then, of course, you add Josh Jacobs to the mix along with Quadzilla. I like our chances. Our O-line is young. They're faster. We still have a lot of good pieces on the O-line. I'm really excited about our tight ends are going to be really good. We have a solid team, and I'm really excited that we are finally settling in. Jordan Love is our future. I do think he's learned a lot, and I'm glad because now he's going to get a full year with the young guys and the offense, and everyone's going to be all together. I think Josh Jacobs is going to do very well, even though I will miss Aaron Jones greatly, but I do think Josh Jacobs is going to be very, very good for us. My prediction, based off of what I saw, what we did last season, and literally being a couple plays away from beating San Francisco, I do have us going to the NFC Championship. I don't know about Super Bowl yet. There's some people saying that, but this team is going to be scary. I want everyone to have their radars on. This Green Bay Packers team is going to be very scary. Listen, they're still listen.
The NFC Championship is crazy.
Listen, we got to the divisional round last year. That no one expected. So we're going to the NFC Championship. Yes. We've had worse teams that went to the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
So I don't know why everyone's confused.
That's fair. That's fair. But you got to get past the Lions first. I'm not worried about the Lions first. And Thanksgiving doesn't count. If you play the Lions on Thanksgiving, that don't count.
How do we know the Lions are going to be the same?
If you play the Lions on Thanksgiving, that don't count. Anything else?
How do we know? But this is my thing. How do we know the Lions are going to be the same?
The Lions.
How do we know they're going to be the same? We don't know that, right? We don't know that. Everyone knew that they were going to be good, but Green Bay was not on anybody's radar. Anyone. NFC Championship. I'm sorry.
You're right, but with Jordan Love under helm, of course they're going to be on the radar. But after the season they just had, of course, now they are. Jordan Love, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now, and
awesome.
No one expected the Packers to blow the brakes off the Cowboys, and 2, make it to the divisional. The Packers are now on the radar. Last season y'all weren't. This season y'all are. And you're telling me the Lions ain't going to sit back and just say, you know what? The Packers they're starting to beef up a little bit.
When has the Lions? When's the last time the Lions won the division?
Is going to bite your kneecaps off, and he's coming with full force.
Who? Who? No,
Dan Campbell is coming to bite your kneecaps off.
Listen, I respect the Lions. I respect what they do, but when's the last time they won a division besides this year? The Lions are just getting started. Green Bay's been running the division for the longest time. We still run the division. I don't care what anyone says. Nah, respectfully, no. Lions fans, don't be mad at me, but I'm being honest with you. We're coming to see y'all. I don't care what anyone says. Now, Chicago, they're trying to talk because they got Caleb Williams. I'm not paying attention to y'all. I don't care. I don't care about the Lions. I don't care about Chicago. I don't care about the Vikings. No one cares. The only 2 teams in this division that matter are the Lions and the Packers. But keep sleeping on the Green Bay Packers. I just keep saying this every year. And then we end up doing something crazy. Matt LaFleur only lost 1 game. Out of all the years he's been our coach, he's only lost 1 game in November. So when we get to November and December, we're a different team. We're just a different team. But this year is a young team, young physical team, new coaching staff, new everything. We got a new defensive coordinator, and we have young guys we don't have a number 1 receiver. We don't. And look at what we were able to do with the young guys, and they are workaholics. They out there, they're getting down and dirty. I'm really excited about this, and this is the first time I've been super excited about this team in a long time. So I'm really excited what we're going to do. The Lions are still going to be good, 100%. I'm not disputing they're not, but I think both of us are going to battle it out for that divisional crown. But the Packers been running the show for the years, so I'm not really worried like about the Lions, because I still think both of us are going to make the playoffs. We got to see each other at some point.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's no brainer. That's no brainer. 2 out of the 4 teams in the NFC North are going to make the playoffs. Now,
Yes.
before we end the show, I'm gonna do one last thought from each and every one of us. So I'll start. On top of Jordan Love's signing, Tua Tagovailoa, or should I call him Tua turn the ball over, is also signed a brand new contract with the Miami Dolphins. So if you ask me, I'm not paying Tua that much money, because look at what he's done since he's gotten to the league. I mean, yeah, in recent years he's had Tyreek Hill, he's had Jalen Waddle, he's had weapons to bring mass destruction into the AFC, but he still needs to beat the Chiefs. He still needs to beat the Bengals. He still needs to beat the Bills. He still needs to beat all these good teams. The AFC is stacked. It's not like the NFC, to where we know who's gonna win. We know the good teams. We already know who's gonna win what. But the AFC, it's stacked all around. And if you want to pay Tua that much money, you got to pay him that much money to beat the Chiefs, the Ravens, and I would throw the Bengals in there. The Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bengals, and maybe the Bills, but they beat them from time to time. But the Chiefs, Ravens, and the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bengals, those are the 3 teams you gotta beat like consistently. There's no way. Like if I could pay, like me, I'm a coach. A high school sophomore, $200 million to beat an NFL team just once. Just beat the Chiefs one time, and they get that $200 million. I promise you, they'll do it within the next maybe 5 years. But for Tua's sake, if you think he's going to beat those 3 powerhouse teams at any point within this season, next season, the season after that, no. Tua's not doing that. He can't. The Dolphins are not good against good teams. Bad teams, they spanking them every day. But good teams, no. No way. All right, that's my spiel. Jasmine, I'm going to save the last one for Cole. Jasmine, can you give me your last thoughts so we can wrap this up?
Okay, so my fiance is a Dolphins fan, so I got to be careful. So I told him yesterday I don't think they should have given Tua that big of a contract.
I hope he heard me too.
He agrees. He agrees with that. But it adds a lot more pressure onto him. Now, you mentioned something, Anthony, about the AFC being stacked. I don't believe that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only team that's been running the AFC is the Chiefs. We keep talking about the Ravens. We keep talking about the Bills. We keep talking about everyone else in the Bengals. Chiefs been in the Super Bowl how many times? I mean, if you look at it, if you really look at it, you have teams that are like, yeah, but I'm saying this on this show. I'm not betting against the Chiefs ever again. Ever again, I'm not doing it. I don't care who gets who. I don't care that Derrick Henry's in Baltimore. I don't care. I think the Texans are going to be very scary, but I don't care. I don't care about the Bills. I don't care about that. I look at this Chiefs team and Xavier Worthy being on this team, and they have a down the hill threat again. I look at this Chiefs team. They're running the show. They are the team to beat. Now, back to the Dolphins. I do think the Dolphins have a team to win, but it's all about moments. They don't beat good teams in the moments they're supposed to beat them. Yes, 100%. Tua has to be better. He has to be better at reading and not turning the ball over. If the Dolphins don't turn the ball over, they're a scary team. They're a very dangerous team if they're not turning the ball over and they're on. When they're on, they're scary. I mean, you can't account for that type of offense, especially with Mike McDaniel, with his offensive mind. Now, defensively, they have a whole new defensive coordinator. They have a lot of new pieces that I think is going to be very good for them. They have to bulk up on defense when you have an offense like that to stop opposing teams. But when we look at the AFC, the AFC is not wide open at all. I think people are getting lost in the sauce. The Chiefs are the team. It's them and then everybody else behind. I don't see anyone else beating the Chiefs. I really don't. Until the Chiefs are out, if somebody makes a heroic thing of getting them out, I don't see anybody beating the Chiefs. I don't. When you look at the NFC is wide open because there hasn't been like a consistent thing over on there. The Chiefs have been consistent. I don't see the Bills. I don't see Miami. I don't see Baltimore. I don't see anybody else. I don't. The Chiefs are the team. They're the team, respectfully.
Hey, that's a good spiel. Jasmine. And you got some very strong words. I can't wait to tune into the next episode of Jazz on Sports. Cole, you have the.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on some of the things that Jasmine said because I totally agree with her. Yeah, I really think the Packers can make a run for that division. It's them and the Lions in that division. It's coming down to those two teams. Bears are not there yet. I don't know how Caleb Williams is going to do in Chicago. I'm not the biggest fan of J.J. McCarthy. I have no idea what he's going to do in Minnesota. But I think Jasmine actually makes a very solid point, and I can actually see the Packers potentially getting to the NFC Championship. It's not a done deal by any means because you still have to go through the 49ers. You got to go through the Eagles. You got to go through the Lions. I mean, those are the three big teams to me in the NFC that you got to go through to get to the NFC Championship game. And I think the Eagles are going to be a lot better this year if they don't choke again. They kill the draft like every year besides Jalen Reagor, but obviously you get Saquon Barkley there. Hopefully Saquon can stay healthy. But the NFC is kind of like a toss-up to me as to who's going to come out of there. I mean, honestly, the AFC, it's everything runs through Kansas City. If I had to go and bet on them right now, I bet you they get back to the Super Bowl. But a lot of things can change from now until February as to when the Super Bowl is.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting to just see kind of how the season unfolds. I'm really looking forward to the NFL. I'm really looking forward to college football.
Oh, it's time for college. I'm ready for that too.
I'm ready for college football. We're only 4 weeks away?
Yeah.
4 weeks away from college football.
It's getting close.
It's getting close, but it's going to be interesting to see kind of just how everything unfolds to me. But
we should be about 4 weeks away.
The Packers, to me, are going to have a good team. I think,
but I do know the Hall of Fame game is this upcoming Thursday.
Yes, it is next Thursday.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be tuning into the Hall of Fame game. I don't even know who's playing it. That's just how much I care about preseason football. I just don't care about it. It's boring. I am in baseball season right now until September starts and we get college football in the NFL. I'm still in baseball season because the Pirates still have a chance of making the playoffs. Surprising. But especially too with like the Steelers and, I don't know what how the Steelers season is going to unfold. They need a wide receiver too. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. They do not have a wide receiver too. Right. And if I'm a defense, I'm just going to double cover George Pickens. I'm putting two guys on George Pickens, and what are the Steelers going to do offensively? I don't know who you're going to throw the ball to. I mean, I don't think Najee's that great. I know some Steelers fans are about to be salty, but, there's a reason why they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. I'm just saying.
Correct.
So kind of just wrap this whole thing up, especially too, I want to jump to the Chiefs again real quick, and they're going to be the last. They are going to be scary again, especially at receiver. You have Xavier Worthy. you pretty much just got yourself another Tyreek Hill. And he is Mahomes' quarterback. That's going to be a problem.
I just can't, like, and Cole, like, even Rice is improved. They have receivers that they can just recycle and like boom, 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 boom. Then you still got Travis Kelce. You still have guys. That O-line still there. They kept everyone together. Now defensively, I don't know if they'll be the same. I know they lost what's his name? Their star cornerback. He's not there anymore. So that back end took a little hit. I don't know about if the defense is going to, because I think they had the best defense they've had in the Mahomes era last season. I do. But they're going to be a scary team. This offense is going to fly as long as Mahomes is healthy, Kelce is healthy, as long as Taylor Swift is there. This team is going to be they're going to be in everybody's face. So, and then I saw what the Raiders did. I don't know if y'all saw what the Raiders were doing.
They will be in everybody's face. We all know the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. We already know that. But hold on, Jasmine. Hold that thought. I actually gotta do some stuff real quick. Give me my solo shot. Come here. Hey, come here. Give me my solo shot. Need my solo shot real quick. Producer, need my solo shot. Please. I need my solo. Jay. Thank you. Okay, so that will conclude tonight's episode of Ant-Arcy. Thank you so much for everybody who came in, who contributed to the conversation. I love to see the passion of every single person who watches my content. And also, if you've been living under a rock for the last week, I'll say, I have started a new segment called Ant-Arcy Gaming. And it will be showing on Mondays and Fridays at 8:20. Right now, I am on a college football dynasty with the JMU Dukes. So just to recap the two episodes real quick, I started my dynasty. We played through a season. We played in the New Orleans Bowl, and we beat the Sam Houston Bearcats. And now we're into our second season. We just recruited our first 3-star QB, and wildly enough, after one season, I moved the JMU Dukes to the ACC, and we played a close game against the North Carolina Tar Heels, but we lost in the final seconds. Okay, so, and trust me, the ACC move will work out, but you have to find out later on Mondays and Fridays at 8:20 on Ant-Arcy Gaming. I'm doing episode 3 on Monday at 8:20. Please be sure to be there. Share with a friend, share with a coworker, your mom, your dad, your sister. Please get it out to everybody. Okay? Everybody, please stay safe, stay blessed, stay passionate, and please don't be afraid. Okay? Endure every single day with your full heart's content. Scared money don't make no money. A closed mouth don't get fed. Go out there, make a name for yourself, and actually build yourself up. Build your career, build that empire, build that podcast you've been wanting to do. All right? Stay safe, stay passionate, guys. I'll see you later.